Greetings, salutations. Welcome to this midday power surge, Thursday, September 17th, 2020. This is your spiritual oasis on this pilgrim journey. Safe to Serve International, first time viewers, welcome to this midday power surge. All right, friends, we want to get right into it. I want to turn your attention to Matthew chapter 17. What if I told you that some of the signs, not all, but some of the signs that you are looking for to precede the second coming of Jesus Christ have already taken place? Would you believe me? Well, my friends, I'm going to show you that fact from Scripture, end time prophecy, and based on the current events which are now transpiring. In Matthew chapter 17, at the first advent of Jesus, looking at verse 1 through verse number 13, Christ took the disciples on the mount, and there he was transfigured before them. They there understood that he was the promised Messiah. And what was the response of those three disciples? Jesus, how then? How on earth are you here? When the scribes told us and our generation that before you come, Elijah must first come. And what was Christ's response? Elijah has already come. And you missed him. Church missed him. By the way, Christ said you rejected him. You beheaded him. And as a result, you are rejecting me. And so it is in the second coming of Christ, just before that great event. Many signs people are looking for to precede Sunday law, to precede second coming of Jesus Christ, are already here. That's why I'm telling you, my friends, the sign you are looking for is already here. Take a look at this, friends. First Things is a publication. It is America's most influential journal of religion and public life. All right. Notice here, friends, on September 8th, 2020, it published an article stating, as you can see right there, a statement on public officials and public office. The article goes on to say, evangelicals and Catholics have diverse views on many issues, but they are now united to speak with one voice. To speak with one voice on crucial moral issues. Is this significant, my friends? In Revelation chapter 13, the Bible speaking about Protestant America, verse number 15 of Revelation 13 says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. One voice, Protestant America. And since the image of the beast is Protestant America forming an image to the papacy, that means it's a unification between evangelical Protestants who have now apostatized with Catholics, and they will speak with one voice. How much clearer can it get? Get back to the screen, Christian. It says, blue words on top, we have diverse views on many issues. Watch this. But we will now speak with one voice. That again is a fulfillment of the prophetic word. Look at Great Controversy, page 444, which says, my friends, watch carefully, yes, the leading churches in America have different views, divergent doctrines, But notice blue words, they will secure a union. In order to do so, they will lay aside points of controversy and they will unite, just as you're seeing evangelicals and Catholics together. Look at this now, friends. This is Christian Post in 2015. One of the signs you are looking for has already come to pass. Look at this headline: gay marriage, graver threat than divorce, cohabitation. Who says that? Listen, Rick Warren. Other evangelicals and Catholics declare. Look at the top, right column. The two shall become one flesh. That's 2015 already. And they're talking about a marriage. Now, of course, contextually, they're talking about the marriage between one man and one woman. They are against same-sex unions. Oh, friends, but don't miss it. Based on the prophetic word, is there another marriage that will take place? Revelation 13, the first beast, verse 1 through verse 10, popery. The second beast, verse 11 through verse 17, Protestant America. That's a marriage. An image is formed. Look at the screen. It says, blue words, evangelicals and Catholics together. The two have become one already. Look at the next words after the blue. Catholics and evangelicals, of course, hold divergent doctrines. But notice now, their differences were set aside. Set aside. Set aside. Already fulfilling great controversy, page 444. Are these points clear? If they are clear, safe to serve international SDA people, first-time viewers, send in the amens. Shall we move on? All right, look at the screen again. Look at, now I did not put this collage together of those pictures. Who is shaking whose hand? A so-called Protestant evangelical shaking the primary Antichrist power. Rick Warren said, top left, Pope Francis is doing everything right. The marriage is here. Bottom right corner, Rick Warren said, when the Pope invites you, you go. Ha ha. The two have become one already. What's left? They are already speaking with one voice. Next, they will influence the state. And through the state power, they will enforce Sunday rest to counter licentiousness. Look at this, friends. Great controversy, page 445. Once they unite, they will speak with one voice and influence state leaders to enforce Sunday rest by law. Then will come persecution for God's faithful remnant. Move on. And what are we told in Great Controversy, page 587? Sunday will be enforced to bring back morality. Blue words on the screen. And it begins in the United States of America. There it is, friends. Evangelicals and Catholics are already united. And look at this statement, September 8th, 2020, from First Things. Red words underlined. The two shall become one flesh. Last phrase in red words, it says, in order to publish and bring forth morality in the public square. Does anyone recall? I'm going to give you an opportunity later on to speak. Does anyone recall what Catholics mean by bringing morality into the public square? What apostate Protestant mean by bringing morality into the public square? It means church-state union, and the state is being controlled by the church power. All right? Let's confirm that. There it is. Rick Santorum. both church leader and state leader, said he felt like throwing up, vomiting, when he read JFK speech on separation of church and state. He said, Rick Santorum, faith should be brought into the public square. Last sentence, red words. There should not be a separation of church and state. It cannot be absolute. Well, that is exactly what JFK said. And as a result, and many other issues, JFK choked on a bullet. Let's move on, friends. I want everyone to take a look at this. I'm going to prove it now. Look at the screen. Who else is calling for morality to be brought into the public square? The Pope of Rome. Pope Francis, friends. The two have become one flesh already. What do you mean? All right, watch carefully. So-called Protestants and Catholics, one flesh already. Another perspective. Now they have united. Church and state are already united. I don't know what you're waiting for, what you're looking for. What is next, my friends? For them to influence the state completely, to enforce Sunday rest by law. The signs you are looking for are already here. 2, not will become. That's future. No, the two have become one flesh already. All right. Notice here, friends. Public square. And then they will persecute God's people. Let's take a look at this, friends. Let's prove it. Look at this publication called The Tablet. Look at the first 4 words in the headline. The first 4 words read, the ties that bind. What a statement, friends. Who are they talking about? Evangelicals and Catholics. This paragraph said, in the early U.S. history, there was no union between Catholics and evangelical Protestants. But now they are united. But when? When? The union began publicly with the abortion morality battles of the 1960s. Next, look at this. First sentence. The year 1994, we saw the real sea change with the publication of Evangelicals and Catholics together. What was that year? 1994. Official public signing. The ties that bind. What are you looking for? The signs that many are looking for are already here. Look at this. And just as they rejected that sign in the person and ministry of John the Baptist and beheaded John the Baptist, rejected Christ as a result, many are rejecting the signs, rejecting the ministries that God has raised up in these last days. And as a result, consequently, they're also rejecting present truth, rejecting Jesus Christ, and will be lost. Early writing says, those who rejected the preaching of John were not benefited by the teachings of Jesus Christ. Look at this, friends. Look at the screen right here. Look at the red words in the middle. Linking American evangelicals and Catholics in an ecumenical organization for the first time. Let that sink in. Notice, red words at the bottom. Christian churches together. That's it, friends. One group did not join. Southern Baptist, and they all joined. Notice, dear friends, in 2008, 2009, when they all signed the Manhattan Declaration. Look at this now, friends. I want everyone to watch this. Look at the screen. Evangelicals and Catholics have made their peace, red words, since 1994. Washington Post. The signs that many are looking for are already here. Do you remember just before the crucifixion of Jesus Christ? The Bible says that Herod and Pilate were once at enmity with each other. But to overthrow Jesus Christ, his truth and followers, they became friends. They made their peace. Look at this now. What happened between October 31st, 2016, October 31st, 2017? The protest is over. By the way, notice what that says. It says in blue words, second to last sentence, Pope Francis is convinced that the Reformation is already over. What are you looking for? What are you waiting on, friends? There it is. What? Last sentence. I want to drive this point home. Last sentence says, so most of the world's evangelicals don't realize the sign is already here. The protest is over. The two shall become one. There it is, friends. They signed the document. So what about the SDA people? Are they excluded? Watch this. I'm going to share with you a statement which clearly says, to cement the connection, the marriage, the union between evangelical Protestants and Roman Catholics, they use spiritual formation. And the article specifically mentioned the author, Richard Foster, and his book, The Celebration of Discipline. Look at this, friends. There it is. Same article, headline, the ties that bind 1994 Catholics and evangelicals. Blue words in the middle. Then came, I don't know what you're looking for, friends. Then came the spiritual formation movement with Richard Foster's influential book called Celebration of Discipline. Look at the last two sentences, friends. Many were once saying spiritual formation is Roman Catholic in nature, but now they have accepted it. It's not biblical. It's right there, last sentence, blue words. But look at this. What institution of higher learning is that? Andrews University. Which book were they teaching? The students, even those who were being trained, educated for ministry in the SDA denomination. There it is, friends, red box. Richard Foster's book, Celebration of Discipline. Now, the world says, last sentence, a previous generation of evangelicals had shunned these dangerous practices as much too Catholic and not nearly biblical enough. That was a previous generation. But we have come to another generation wherein Seventh-day Adventist Andrews University, the flagship educational institution, is using a book that is pagan, Catholic, and not biblical. We have come to another generation, a final generation. Look at that right there. Not excluding, look at that headline, who is afraid of spiritual formation? Accept it, hook, line, and sinker. And who wrote this, friends? Look at the left column, right column rather. Look at that. Oakwood University. What were they teaching? Spiritual formation. It's right there on the screen, friends. There it is. Look at the red box. Whose book were they using? The Celebration of Discipline by Richard Foster. And another, M. Robert Mulhand. I'll come to him shortly. And they sprinkled a little Steps to Christ inside there by Ellen White. You have, friends, if I gave you wholesome food and sprinkle a little poison, would you consume it? Ingest it? That's the deception. It's eating from the tree of the knowledge of both good and evil. What happened to the Review and Herald? It burned down. I wonder why. They were teaching mysteries of iniquity and principles of Romanism. You go read volume 8, my friends. Page 98. Let's come back here. Listen to what this says. All right? There it is. Volume 8, 98. Romanism. Romanism. Look at the screen. As you can see from Oakwood, do you see it there, friends? The second book from Mr. Mulholland, Robert. There's the book, my friends. Invitation to a Journey. A real roadmap for spiritual formation. Right off the screen. Left off the screen, Richard Foster's book. But a skeptic, a cynic is going to say, well, that was in the past. But friends, the effects of the mysteries of iniquity, Romanism, on the minds of these impressionable youth in the seminary has not dissipated. That impression is still live, well, and they're spewing out the apostasies to their church members in their local SDA churches. I'm not going to mince any words. I'm going to cry aloud and spare. Now, Hillary, give me that quote. This is volume 8, page 91. What caused the Review and Herald to be burnt down with fire? The presses in the Lord's institution have been printing the soul-destroying theories of Romanism and other mysteries of iniquity. The office must be purged of this objectionable matter. While we have accepted the mysteries of iniquity, do you know who John MacArthur is? Is the same one who is embroiled in a battle with the state power, Governor Newsom in California. He wants to keep his church open. What did he say about evangelicals and Catholics uniting? Listen to his remonstration. Even though I heard that he preached against the Lord's Sabbath. But listen.
Even theologically, you have believers and non-believers. You have those who preach the true gospel, evangelical Christians, and those who preach the false gospel, Roman Catholics. And there is no possibility of those two coming together. In fact, the Apostle Paul said to the Galatians, if anybody preaches another gospel, let him be accursed. So how can we embrace that as if we were engaged in a common mission? That was the really frightening thing about the ECT document, that it tried to bring the false gospel and the true gospel together as if they were essentially the same or compatible. And I think, sad to say, so many evangelical people accepted that and jumped on the bandwagon because of the people who signed it.
What's the ECT document? Evangelical, Catholic together. Yet Seventh-day Adventists, maybe they didn't sign the document, but they have been ingesting, drinking the wine of Babylon. What celebration of discipline, spiritual formation that originated from the apostate, pagan Ignatius of Loyola. And his progenitor was Satan himself. Look at this, friends. They're already united. Let's take a look if they will speak with one voice. What would that voice be? The Bible illustrates that one voice as a dragon's voice. Revelation 13, verse 2, the dragon gave his seat, power, and great authority to the papacy. Verse number 11 of Revelation 13 says, America will speak as a dragon. It's that one voice. And the speaking of that dragon's voice, it restricts, strips, repudiates your liberties. Is that going on now? What happened during COVID-19 to your liberties? Both religious and civil. What are we looking for? What signs are we looking for? The voice is already here. It's only going to say more words. Sunday law with persecution. That's all. And it's going to be more bold. Very, very soon. Look at this, friends. William Barr says, he says, headline, carefully says, the calls for coronavirus lockdown are the greatest intrusion on civil liberties. Think about that, friends. Red words, first sentence, he said, putting a national lockdown, a stay-at-home orders is like house arrest. House arrest. And many are still looking for, when will we see persecution? The signs you are looking for are already here. By the way, is it just now William Barr knew or know that this was intrusive? Is it because of election why he said this? The signing of the U.S. Constitution's memorial? It's the same William Barr who stated that those who preach church and state must be separate, call them pesky, call them a pest. The man is calling church and state separation a pest. All right, whose words are those? The Pope of Rome. So can you trust William Barr? Move on. Not only in the U.S., it begins here, but I'm going to switch and jump across the pond to Europe. They are saying the same thing. What signs are you looking for, friends? Again, William Barr says what? Notice, the cause for COVID-19 lockdown are the greatest intrusion on civil liberties. Well, come to the UK. Headline says, watch carefully, friends. First sentence, the greatest loss of liberty in British history. British history has been imposed largely by ministerial pen. And those policies contain some of the most extreme powers in modern British history. When was this? September 9, 2020. The signs you are looking for are already here. I want to give you a chance, my friends, to send in, to call in, and give me your comments. I'll take about 3 or 4 calls. Call in and give us your comments. What are your thoughts on this? The number is on the screen. 689-777-5198. Look at this statement here, my friends. It says, as we approach the last crisis, friends, you will see the marriage. Red words. On the one hand, the papal power, the people will unite to oppose God in the person of his witnesses. Friends, red words, last sentence. There should be found no variance among us. No variance. No variance, friends. What are your thoughts based on what we covered today? 689-777-5198. The signs that many are looking for are already here. You're alive. Thanks for calling in. You have 90 seconds. Your thoughts. I lost that person again. All right, friends, the signs are here. No variance must be found among us in these last. Look at the blue words at the bottom. The members of Christ's church have the power to thwart the purpose of the adversary of souls. And that's why we are here today, friends, to lay out these principles that as God's people, we can be prepared